Stephen, how will small cell and Wi-Fi impact the tower industry?
Jeff, that's a $1 million question. It's an exciting development, I think, for the carriers. The carriers need to obviously enhance the capacity of the network. They need to extend the reach of the network with all of this growth in data. The way we see it, I think a lot of the industry sees it, is that this is really complementary to the macro network. The macro network is always going to be the most cost-effective way of getting coverage and getting capacity. But where you've got very, very high density of population or usage, then you may need to supplement that with underlay networks utilizing small cells or different types of small cells in order to add specific capacity on a surgical basis across these high population areas. So I think it's complementary. I think it's still to be determined as to whether there is shareable infrastructure and how shareable and how potentially economically attractive it would be for tower companies to get involved in that. As you know, Jeff, we're big in building in DAS systems. We've got over 260 in-building systems across the major casinos and malls and arenas across the country, and a lot of those are 3-4 carrier leased up. The shared infrastructure, the carriers share that economic cost, but nevertheless, it's still extremely expensive. And there's every evidence that small cells are equally expensive, and therefore that will sort of limit the level of deployment or how they're deployed. So I think we've got to continue to watch, see whether we can provide wider service and support to carriers. And I think the carriers need to work out exactly how they're going to utilize it and how effective it's going to be for them in terms of meeting their wider capacity requirements.
Well, I know one of the comments in this morning's panel was we're no longer the tower industry, we're the wireless infrastructure or broadband wireless infrastructure industry. What does that comment mean to American Tower?
Yeah, I think this is it's a great comment. It's a great insight, because I think it brings the tower industry more to the forefront of the consumer mind, of the regulatory mind, in terms of without this fundamental critical infrastructure, the carriers cannot effectively deploy the network. So we are instrumental to that deployment. So I think looking at it from that perspective and being able to articulate it to the wider audience, the public, the regulators, the local state stakeholders, they're more likely to understand and get the critical importance of what it is we're doing, and help support us in that endeavour to drive greater economic growth across the whole economy, not just within the sector.
Stephen, it's great to see you. Thanks for your time.
Nice to see you, Jeff. Thanks.